Membi versus UPND, the battle that could end his political career. Zambia breaking news. Good day viewers, and welcome to InspirAfrica Official, your trusted source for deep, factual analysis of Africa's most defining political stories. Tonight, we dive into a power struggle that's shaking Zambia's political foundations. Fred Membi, the man once hailed as the voice of the people, is now fighting for his political survival. Reports suggest that the UPND government could soon move to change the Socialist Party's leadership. Others say Membi's days as party president are numbered. Is this a political witch hunt? Or the final chapter in Membi's long, controversial journey? Stay tuned, because what's happening behind closed doors may rewrite Zambia's opposition politics forever. Fred Membi, journalist, activist, and Socialist Party leader, has never been a stranger to controversy. From challenging former presidents to accusing the current UPND leadership of betrayal, Membi has walked a thin line between hero and political target. But now, insiders say the tensions have reached breaking point. The UPND may soon replace official Socialist Party office bearers, a move that could legally and politically dismantle Membi's grip on power. In this report, we unpack the story, the accusations, the legal backdrop, the power dynamics, and the future of Zambia's left-wing politics. Tonight, the question remains: is this the end of Fred Membi's political journey, or the beginning of his greatest comeback yet? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Is UPND defending democracy, or silencing its critics? For more factual, neutral. In this special report, InspirAfrica Official examines the truth behind the growing tension, what's driving the confrontation, and what it means for Zambia's democracy. Stay tuned as we uncover the behind-the-scenes battle shaping the 2026 political landscape. Subscribe for more neutral, fact-based analysis of African politics. The revelation came to light in the early hours of Sunday, November 2, 2025, when reports began circulating that internal cracks within the Socialist Party had widened into an open chasm. According to sources within the party, Kelvin Konda, the party's national youth chairperson and mobilization secretary, had openly declared his intention to challenge Dr. Fred Membi for the party presidency and position himself as the Socialist Party's presidential candidate for the 2026 general elections. The announcement came during what was described as a hastily arranged press conference on November 1st, where Konda allegedly stated that the party had passed a vote of no confidence in Membi's leadership. The youth leader reportedly cited declining performance in by-elections, broken communication channels within the party, and the need for youthful and vibrant leadership as justification for the challenge. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Dr. Membi's response was swift and unequivocal. Within hours on the same day, November 1st, 2025, Membi issued a letter dropping Konda from his position as mobilization secretary and removing him from the party's Politburo entirely. The letter, signed by Membi himself, cited careful consideration of current happenings and consultation with other Politburo members as the basis for the decision. However, by November 2nd, the narrative became more complex. Kelvin Konda appeared in an interview denying ever making the statements attributed to him. He called the viral press statement fake news and propaganda, questioning why media houses were circulating written statements without video evidence of his press briefing. Konda stated that he had only held a press conference urging citizens to register as voters, nothing more. Yet the damage was done. On November 2nd, the Copperbelt Socialist Youth chairperson, in a strongly worded resignation letter, quit the party, citing authoritarianism and moral decline under Membi's leadership. The resignation letter specifically referenced Konda's dismissal as evidence of how far the party had strayed from its founding principles of collective leadership and internal democracy. And then came Membi's most explosive allegation. On November 2nd, Dr. Membi issued a public statement claiming that on Monday, November 3, 2025, today, the UPND government, working with sponsored elements connected to the Socialist Party, would attempt to change the names of the party's office bearers at the Registrar of Societies. Membi drew parallels to how the UPND had allegedly used similar tactics against the Patriotic Front, referencing the case where Robert Shabinga changed the names of PF office bearers, displacing Miles Sampa's faction. This pattern wasn't unfamiliar to Zambian politics. In 2023, the Patriotic Front had been embroiled in a bitter internal dispute when the Registrar of Societies became the battleground for determining legitimate party leadership. The PF crisis had seen dramatic scenes. A female registrar being removed from office after complying with a court order to release official documents, rival conventions, and ultimately, successful changes to office bearer registrations that shifted power within the party. Now, Membi was claiming the UPND was deploying the same playbook against the Socialist Party. Let's hear from the key players themselves, starting with the statement that allegedly started it all. The press release attributed to Kelvin Konda on November 1st. Kelvin Konda. Senior members of the party present, colleagues from the media to whom we owe our greatest gratitude for your hard work and dedication to making sure that our great nation is always informed about any latest developments in the country and across the world. Allow me to say thank you for honoring our invitation at short notice, and I would like to take this opportunity to wish you all a happy new month. May this November be full of love and God's blessings upon you all. We are gathered here this morning to make a very important announcement. As you might be aware that a few weeks ago I decided to offer myself to the call of leadership at any level in this great country. After wide consultations and discussions with colleagues in the party and other political stakeholders, I have finally resolved to contest for the position of president in the Socialist Party. My decision has not been fueled by any form of disrespect for the current president and founder member Dr. Fred Membi, no, but by the huge calls within the party that the top leadership needs a youthful and vibrant leader who can lead the party to next elections. The party further resolved to pass a vote of no confidence in the current leadership led by Dr. Fred Membi and to call for an immediate convention in line with the party's constitution. Our members have witnessed a sharp decline in the performance during by-elections, something that clearly calls for change of leadership at the top. Furthermore, the broken-down communication channels within the party have greatly contributed to the decline in confidence on the side of our members across the country, something we can't sit and watch anymore. But then, in a dramatic reversal, Konda himself denied making these statements. In an interview on November 2nd, he said, "Kelvin Konda, it's fake news. This propaganda which you media are carrying, where did you get it from? Why should people be running with a press statement and not the video recording? A press statement is only consequential to the extent that there is no video recording. I have not even announced that. There is no evidence to that effect. There is no single video or single statement to that position." When pressed about whether his expulsion was related to the alleged announcement, Konda responded, "It's not for me to decide. If there are no reasons stated why you have been expelled, why should I appeal? When you are appealing, there are grounds which you must be able to argue. You appeal, you suspended me on the following grounds, ground number 1, ground number 2, ground number 3. But that letter which I have seen on social media has no grounds which have been highlighted, so I appeal against what grounds?" Membi's letter dropping Konda was brief but decisive. Dr. Fred Membi, dismissal letter, November 1st, 2025. Dear Kelvin, after careful consideration of the current happenings and consultation with other Politburo members, we have painfully and with very heavy hearts decided to relieve you of your duties as Mobilization Secretary and drop you from Politburo of the Socialist Party with immediate effect. On behalf of the party, we wish to thank you for your past service and contributions. Yours in the struggle, Fred Membi, President of the Socialist Party. But Membi's most explosive statement came on November 2nd, when he issued his warning about today's events.
Dr. Fred Membi, November 2, 2025.
Tomorrow, Monday, November 3rd, 2025, the UPND, working with sponsored elements connected to Socialist Party, will try to change the names of the office bearers of SP at the Registrar of Societies. They intend to do it the way Robert Shabinga changed the names of PF office bearers from Miles Sampa. From the Copperbelt, the Socialist Youth Chairperson, who resigned, offered a scathing indictment of Membi's leadership. Copperbelt Socialist Youth Chairperson, resignation letter, November 2nd, 2025. The Socialist Party was founded on the principles of collective leadership, justice, equality, and the defense of truth. Yet today, those principles are being undermined by a leadership that has become intolerant of internal criticism and allergic to accountability. The centralization of authority in a few individuals has replaced comradeship with fear and conformity. The resignation letter specifically cited Konda's case. The recent dismissal of Comrade Kelvin Konda, reportedly based on unverified Facebook stories, is proof of how far the party has strayed from its ideals. The socialist struggle must not die because individuals have corrupted it. It must live on through those who still believe in truth, justice, and people-driven politics. Political analysts watching from the sidelines offered their assessment. One commentator, George Mumba, wrote, George Mumba, Political Analysis, November 2nd, 2025. Just a short while ago, we reported that a political tsunami was looming, one that would likely isolate Dr. Fred Membe and derail his ambitions to lead the emerging United Opposition Front, spearheaded by George Kalamanda and Muhabi Lungu, both founders of the Zambia We Want Party. Now, fresh developments suggest that Membe's political woes are deepening. Reliable sources within the Socialist Party have revealed that internal cracks are widening. Insiders describe him as increasingly authoritarian, a leader intolerant of dissent and resistant to alternative views. For someone who has often positioned himself as a political kingmaker, many expected Membe to embody the democratic values he so often champions in his public discourse. Instead, his inability to accommodate differing opinions appears to be eroding his standing both within and outside the SP. Whether he can rebuild trust within his party and among potential allies remains an open question. But for now, his political fortunes seem to be in free fall. And from the ruling UPND, Secretary General Batuk Emenda offered a blunt assessment back in January 2025. Batuk Emenda, UPND Secretary General, January 2025. People are ditching the Socialist Party because Fred Membe is running it like his house. A good number of people that are resigning are either joining us or just saying we are no longer interested. Membe is gagging people in the party because he wants to make himself an idol who would be worshipped by everyone. So what are we really witnessing here? Is this an organic internal revolt against autocratic leadership, or a sophisticated external operation designed to neutralize one of the UPND's most vocal critics? The timing is deeply suspicious. As Zambia approaches the 2026 general elections, Membe has been relentless in his criticism of President Hakainde Hichilema's administration. Throughout 2025, he has accused the government of betraying its campaign promises, increasing the cost of living, shrinking democratic space, and running what he called a looting machine. In March 2025, Membe predicted a heavy electoral defeat for the UPND in 2026, stating that Mr. Hichilema knows that there is a growing and irreversible narrative that he is a highly corrupt leader. In August, he labeled the UPND's 4 years as a failed tenure, pointing to record-breaking Mayalai meal prices, youth unemployment, and overcrowded classrooms. These aren't just political jabs. They represent a sustained campaign to undermine public confidence in the ruling party. And Membe's socialist ideology, while not broadly popular, does resonate with a segment of young, disillusioned voters who feel betrayed by traditional parties. So did the UPND decide Membe had become too much of a threat? The precedent certainly exists. The fate of the Patriotic Front offers a cautionary tale. In 2023, the PF found itself engulfed in chaos as rival factions battled for control, with the Registrar of Societies becoming the key battleground. When the then Chief Registrar Thandai Omend complied with a court order to release the official list of PF office-bearers, a list that contradicted the faction led by Miles Sampa, she was swiftly removed from her position. Political activist Brebner Changala had warned at the time. That decision was not just arrived at by the Registrar of Societies. No. There is an invisible hand behind. The UPND government has politicized and weaponized the office of the Registrar of Societies, with the sole purpose of weakening and getting rid of opposition political parties in the country. Now Membe is claiming the same tactics are being deployed against him. But there's another layer to this story, one that can't be ignored. Multiple sources, including some sympathetic to Membe, have described him as increasingly authoritarian in his leadership style. The Socialist Party, despite its name, has been criticized as operating like a family dynasty, with power concentrated in Membe's hands. Former SP members who resigned or were expelled have consistently raised similar complaints. Lack of internal democracy, intolerance of dissent, and decision-making by a small inner circle. When Konda initially announced, or was alleged to have announced, his challenge to Membe's leadership, he framed it as a call for democratic renewal. Yet he was expelled within hours. This raises a fundamental question. Can Membe credibly claim to be a victim of authoritarian government tactics when his own party is accused of authoritarian practices? The legal and procedural dimensions are equally murky. Under Zambian law, The Registrar of Societies has specific requirements for changing office bearers of registered societies. Parties must submit proper documentation, including national registration cards, fingerprints, and curricula vitae, for all office bearers. Changes must be submitted on prescribed forms, cleared by police and district secretaries. But the registrar also has considerable discretion. During the PF crisis, different factions submitted competing sets of office bearers. The registrar ultimately decided which submission was valid, a decision with profound political consequences. If elements within the Socialist Party, whether genuinely disgruntled or UPND sponsored, submit a competing list of office bearers today at the Registrar of Societies, will that submission be accepted? Will it be processed faster than legitimate party submissions have been in the past? Will the registrar face political pressure to recognize the competing faction? These are not idle questions. The integrity of Zambia's democratic institutions hangs in the balance. Political analyst Dr. Sishiwa has long warned about the dangers of using state institutions to settle political scores. While he hasn't commented specifically on the Membi case, his broader critique is relevant. When institutions like the Registrar of Societies become weapons in political warfare, the entire democratic system suffers. Opposition parties beyond the Socialist Party are watching nervously. If the UPND can successfully destabilize the PF and potentially the Socialist Party through bureaucratic maneuvers, what's to stop them from doing the same to other opposition parties? The new Congress Party, NEREP, and smaller parties all face similar vulnerabilities. Yet there's also skepticism about Membi's claims. Some observers note that he has a history of crying wolf about UPND conspiracies. Every setback, every resignation, every internal problem is blamed on UPND infiltration. At what point does this become a convenient excuse for poor leadership rather than a legitimate concern about state interference? The question of Kelvin Konda's role remains deeply puzzling. Did he actually make the statements attributed to him, only to deny them when faced with expulsion? Was it a sophisticated forgery designed to create chaos? Or is Konda playing a deeper game, testing the waters for a leadership challenge while maintaining deniability? By November 3rd, today, Konda had even endorsed Brian Mundable for the Patriotic Front presidency, calling for opposition unity. This is a remarkable move for someone who was, just days earlier, supposedly challenging his own party's leadership. It suggests either a complete break with the Socialist Party or a more complex political calculation. Whatever the truth, one thing is clear: the Socialist Party is hemorrhaging credibility. Young party members are resigning in protest. Allies are distancing themselves. Membi's dream of leading a united opposition front against the UPND in 2026 looks increasingly unrealistic. And if today's prediction comes true, if rival Socialist Party members do appear at the Registrar of Societies to change office bearers, it could mark the beginning of the end for Membi's political career. Thank you so much for watching today's edition of InspirAfrica Official. This story is still unfolding even as we speak. By the time you're watching this, we may already know whether Membi's prediction about events at the Registrar of Societies came true. We'll be monitoring the situation closely and will bring you updates as they develop. But I want to hear from you. What do you think is really happening here? Is this a legitimate internal revolt against autocratic leadership in the Socialist Party? Or is it a calculated UPND operation to neutralize a troublesome opposition figure? Is Fred Membi a victim of state persecution, or is he facing the natural consequences of his own leadership style? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a respectful but honest conversation about the state of opposition politics in Zambia and what this means for democracy heading into 2026. And if you found this analysis valuable, please hit that like button, share this video with others who need to see it, and don't forget to subscribe to InspirAfrica Official. Turn on notifications so you never miss our coverage of Zambia's most important political developments. We'll be back tomorrow with more news, more analysis, and more of the stories that matter to you. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep questioning the narratives you're being fed from all sides. I'm Nakash, and this has been InspirAfrica Official. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.